Prasthaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Prajani Nirvishesha Shandavali Prishna Tadeshtani Dharma Prochita Kaitava Atra Paramanirmatsaranam Satan Vastu Shivadam Tapatrai Unmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamune Kute King Vaya Ishra Sadaridi Avaruddate Atra Kritivi Shushushivitakshanat Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya nāntaṁ vidāmy aham munayo gra-jās māyā-balasya puruṣasya kuto varā gāyan guṇān daśa-śatānana ādi-devaḥ śeṣo dhunāpi samavasyati nāsya pāram. Like to chant? Matri Mandali Na, never, antam, end, vidāmy, do I know, aham, myself, ami, and all those, munayaḥ, great sages, agra-jāḥ, born prior to you, you, māyā-balasya, of the omnipotent puruṣasya, of the Personality of Godhead, kutaḥ, what to speak of others, avarāḥ, born after us, yea, those gāyan, by singing, guṇān, the qualities, daśa-śata-ānanaḥ, one who has 1,000 faces, ādi-devaḥ, the first incarnation of the Lord, śeṣo, known as śeṣo, aduna, until now, api, even, samavasyati, can achieve, not, daśa, of him, pāram, limit. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Neither I, the Lord Brahma speaking, neither I nor all the sages born before you, Narad Muni, know fully the omnipotent personality of Godhead. So what can others who were born after us know about him? Even the first incarnation of the Lord, namely śeṣo, has not been able to reach the limit of such knowledge, although he is describing the qualities of the Lord with 1,000 faces. Purport: the omnipotent personality of Godhead has primarily three potential manifestations, namely internal, external, and marginal potencies, with unlimited expansions of these three energies. As such, the potential expansions can never be calculated by anyone, because even the personality of Godhead himself, as the incarnation of śeṣo, cannot estimate the potencies, although he has been describing them continuously with his 1,000 faces. Srila Prabhupada ki. Mukam karati bachalam pangam langai tekirim jat kripatamaham bande sri gunam dinatarinam. Puruṣasya shakti vividhaya shruyate. Puruṣasya shakti. So unlimited energies, puruṣasya shakti. Sarva shaktiman. Sarva shaktiman. All potencies. And Prabhupada's mentioning that there's three primary potencies. Antaranga, Bahiranga, Tatāśta, Shakti. Tatāśta, actually Tata means the bank. Tata, on the bank. So Tatāśta, situated on the bank. Sometimes it's covered by the water, sometimes it's not. It's interesting if you go Panihati Dham, you go Panihati. It's an unusual phenomena there. Generally you'll see Ma Ganga, she's flowing Himalaya Teke to the Bay of Bengal. She's flowing in this direction. You see her here, she's flowing north to south. Bay of Bengal. Now Panihati, in the morning she's flowing, you see that she's flowing down from the Himalayas down to Bay of Bengal. In the afternoon she's coming the other direction. There's the tide, the Bay of Bengal tide comes in, so the water comes in. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you can float down the river all morning and then just float back in the afternoon, and then you come back to Panihati Dham ki. Vrindavan Das Thakur describes that Anantashesh, one time Nityananda, Abadut Goshai, Nityananda Prabhu, he was in Panihati for 3 months. And Anantashesh, he in 1 hour, what Lord Nityananda would do in 1 hour, Anantashesh, he cannot, even with his 1,000 mouths, he cannot describe for hundreds of years what Lord Nityananda Prabhu would do in 1 hour. Just imagine what was happening 3 months in Panihati Dham. So anyway, we're on the bank of the river, sometimes water covered, sometimes uncovered. So Tatāśta, situated on the bank. Jiva Shakti, so sometimes influenced by Maya, sometimes not. Has the potency. The three principal Shaktis, why they're particularly mentioned? Well, they're mentioned in Bhagavad Gita as being all that you need to know. Kshetra gyayo gyanam etat gyanam matam mama. 13th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is explaining that this is gyan. What is gyan? Gyan. What is gyan? Actually, it's sambandha gyan. Sambandha gyan means relationship. Relationships, so sambandha gyan. Bhagavad Gita is a sambandha gyan shastra because explaining relationships with these three things. Relationship between the antaranga shakti, bahiranga shakti, tatashta shakti. The relationship between the three. If you know that, etat jnanam iti praktam. This is gyan. There's nothing more you need to know. Nothing more than you need to know. What is there apart from the antaranga shakti, tatashta shakti, bahiranga shakti, and nothing. Nothing. Shaktiman. Shaktiman, the source of Shakti. And then there's the internal expansion, there's the Vishnu Shakti, Vishnu Tattva, and Antaranga Shakti Prakash, and the Swarup Shakti, consorts, Swarup Shakti, consorts. The all originally expansions of Sri Radhika, consorts. Sitaram, Lakshmi Narayan, Shita Parvati, Shiv Parvati. It's all expansions ultimately of Sri Radhika. The Shakti, this is the Swarup Shakti. So Antaranga Shakti, the pastimes, the Vishnu Tattva, the Dham. And then there is the Bahiranga Shakti, the external energy. The shadow, māyā, what is that? The chayeva yasya māyā, bhubanani bibhati durga. Chayeva, it looks like external energy, it looks like the real thing. Like the shadow, chaya eva. Chayeva yasya bhubanani bibhati durga. The shadow, it looks like the real thing. That's why it's confusing. It looks like the real thing. Shadow, looks like the reflection, pratibimba. Sometimes we give example, take the mirror, have 500 rupees note, okay? Give the 500, put it in front of the mirror, how many 500 rupees notes you see? Two. Okay, you take the one in the mirror, I'll take the one in your hand. Everybody laughs, ha 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 ha, Prabhu, we're not so foolish. What are we doing in the material world? We're taking that reflection as reality. We're taking that reflection as durāṣaya bahir arthamanina. And Bhagavat kota, Pralad shika, durāṣaya bahir artha manina. The problem with the materialists, nāte vidu sha'arta gatimi Vishnu, they forget that their real interest is in awakening their relationship with Vishnu and their loving relationship, sentiment toward Vishnu. Forgetting that, durāṣaya, they take shelter of external energy, bahir artha manina. The bahir, the external, the bahiranga shakti, the bahir, external. Artha, it means value, artha. Artha manina, they're thinking it's very important. They're thinking the material energy is very important. The thing is everything. This is the everything. And some, the materialistic scientists, they think there's nothing beyond the material energy. There's nothing beyond that. There's ultimate, all in all, material energy, nothing beyond, no spiritual energy, no subtle spiritual energy. They're very dull. Affected by the tribute guna mayi baba, ebe sharavadamidam jagat mohitam. Tribute guna, by the three modes. Tribute guna mayi baba, ebe sharavadamidam jagat mohitam. Everyone is bewildered, mohitam. Na abhijanati, they do not know me. Mam ebyam paramabhyayam, whom above the modes. Bewildered by the modes. And the more bewildered, the more in the modes we are, the more forgetful, the more bewildered. Just like this tamagun culture. There's the Prabhupada said, there's Malecha Jabon he was discussing with Hari Shori. When Hari Shori one day, he kept the salt from Prabhupada's table. The salt, Prabhupada had a bowl of salt. Sometimes the there's season, there's a little green. There's a little green, there's like chutney, the proper little salt with the and dip it into the salt. The salt was in a bowl. And Hari Sori, he was cleaning up Prabhupada's prasadam and the salt was like 3/4 left, full bowl. And Hari Sori kept on the table for next day. Prabhupada said, you Malecha Javan class people. In your fridge, all the leftovers for many days. Open the fridge. That's what what is consciousness evaluation? Evaluation of one's consciousness. Open the fridge. Open the fridge. I mean, Prabhupada said, he said even householders should have separate fridge for the deity. A separate fridge for flowers, for the ghee, tulasi, for bhoga. A separate fridge for the deity. And not even to take the prasadam again into the kitchen. No. What to speak of dirty plate, the remnants, but even the prasadam is not remnants, but not even to take prasadam back into the kitchen, or put the prasadam in the same fridge with the bhoga. But these things in the West, we don't care. In the West, the water, where you can't even find water. And where is the richness in the culture where it's so difficult to find some water on the street? And because in the plane, it's like you can't, seat belts, you can't go, the water, you have to have your little spray pack. But I don't care about these things. The dull consciousness, because the degraded behavior, eating and just wiping and walk off. It doesn't matter. They fought knife and fork. Knife and fork is advanced culture. Because we're not touching. Knife and fork. So you finish, you go. Nothing dirty. No need to clean. No need to wash hands. So don't wash hands. Why? We never washed hands. Why? Because knife and fork. It's a dull consciousness. It's dull consciousness. We don't understand that we're bewildered. We don't understand that we're in illusion. We a dream. We don't understand. We think everything's right. And Prabhupada said the other day, another Hari Suri Leela, that Prabhupada sitting and someone brought the bhoga, mangoes, bananas in a bag and put on Prabhupada's table, gave to Prabhupada, bhoga. And it was there, and then they brought the lunch for Prabhupada, and Prabhupada taking the lunch, Prabhupada would take prasadam alone. Not even the servant there putting on the plate. One plate, all the items, that's it. Prabhupada would take it, ring the bell, they would collect and go. Prabhupada would take prasadam alone, not with the servant putting the item one after another. So Hari Suri, Prabhupada rings the bell, Hari Suri comes in to take the plate. He picks up the plate, he's walking out, he sees the bag with the bhoga. Oh, he takes that in the other hand, Prabhupada says, you malecha, Javon class. He's thinking dirty plate here, a fruit here, so much distance. But there's a subtle connection you cannot see, you cannot perceive it. Consciousness is dull. I think it's all right. A dirty plate here, bhoga here, so far away, not contaminated. Because they cannot see the subtlety. A dirty plate here touching whole body contaminated. They cannot understand, they cannot see. So the external energy covers. Māyā-balasya pāram cannot see. So Krishna is explaining it's important to know these. This is knowledge. If you know relationship, what is the relationship between it's Ishvara Prakriti Jiva in other terms, Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tatashta Shakti. So what's the relationship between the Ishvara and the Prakriti? Bhagavad Gita explains, māyā-jaḥ Prakriti. Māyā-jaḥ Prakriti. Is that working under my direction? Māyā-jaḥ, under my supervision. Māyā-jaḥ Prakriti. What's the relationship between Prakriti and Ishvara? Gita explains that māyā-jaḥ Prakriti is working under my direction. I'm in control. And then the jiva in the Prakriti, what's the Prakriti kriyamanani? Ahankara vimudatma is bewildered by the Prakriti. He's bewildered by the Prakriti. You cannot see the Prakriti, the jiva, bewildered by Prakriti. And what's the relationship between jiva and Vishnu? These things, if you know this, relationship between Vishnu and Prakriti, relationship between jiva and Prakriti, relationship between Vishnu and jiva. Etad jnanam iti proktam. If you know this, you know everything. As gāyan, as sambandha gāyan, relationship. If you know that, when Sanatana Goswami, he inquired, Kayami, who am I? Kene, amare ujoritoputrae. Why, kene, amare, unto me, ujore toputrae, toputrae, three miseries, three miseries, toputrae. Kene amare jore toputrae. Why I have to suffer threefold miseries? That's the adi-atmika, adi-bhautika, adi-daivika. Why I have to suffer them? Kene? Why I have to suffer? Iha nahe jane, kamon hito hoy. Iha nahe jane. If I don't know this, why I'm suffering, who I am, why I have to suffer, what is the use of anything else? What is the use of any other? Iha nahe jane. If I do not know this, kamon hito hoy. What is the use of anything else? What is the use of anything else? Any other education? This is the fault in the modern education. So advanced, you can make the big heavy or airplane. Yesterday we were at Sitaram Prabhu's house. He has 4 boys. They're in the Gurukula. A young Maya Purchandra and Vrindavan, Balaram. His 4 boys, like Sanat Kumar, Prakash. So we were there, we were taking prasadam, they had inventions in the last 100 years, inventions. Aeroplanes. I'm asking the young one, how is it the aeroplane, heavy, metal, how it flies in the sky? How it flies in the sky. He couldn't give answer. Jet propelled, boom, they're burning up so much petrol. You burn up that much petrol, anything will fly in the sky. It's a jet propelled. They burn up so much petrol, it will make anything fly at that speed. So it's a very amazing what the modern technology, it's very amazing. Soon it'll just be on your phone, on your watch the whole life, you know, like we used to see in the Get Smart movies in the 1960s, what was just dreams. It's all true now, on the shoe phone. Maxwell Smart, the shoe phone. It's all true. It's all coming true. What to speak of the advancement, it will become more and more bewildering and demoniac. They're demons. There's so many amazing gadgets. It began with the electric toothbrush. Bzzz. Bzzz. People were thinking that's advancement. From then everything develops. Electric toothbrush. You know, you don't have to move your hand. This is how intelligent we are. You just hold it there. Bzzz. The batteries do all the work for you. How advanced is civilization? But what is you don't know that iha nahe jane. Sanatan Goswami. Iha nahe jane. If I don't know this, kamon hito hoy. What's the use of all of this education? Nitai na bolilo mukhe, majilo shangsha shukhe. Nitai na bolilo mukhe. Those who are not with the mukh. Nitai na bolilo. They're not chanting the name Nitai. Nitai na bolilo mukhe, majilo shangsha shukhe. And they're absorbed in the material happiness. Vidya kule ki kori betar. What is the use, bidda, of their learning? Vidya kule ki kori betar. What is the use of their learning, of their family, of their wealth, of their reputation, of their achievements? Nitai na bolilo mukhe, majilo shangsha shukhe. Happy in this world, not chanting the name of Nityananda. What is the use? Narottam Thakur Maharaj is singing, Vidya kule ki kori betar. Vidya kule, what's the use of their life? Ahankara mata hoya. Ahankara mata hoya. Asatyeda satta. Asatyeda satta korimani. Ahankara mata hoya. Nitayed pada prashariya. I'm forgetting the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, bewildered by the false ego. So therefore Krishna is explaining these things have to be understood. the relationship, and then when Sanatana Goswami, Mahaprabhu answered, this is very instructive. Of course, Sanatana Goswami, Nitya Siddho, Nitya Mukto, Purush, Nitya Siddho. The Nitya Parshad. He's appearing just to show seva, because Sachinandan, he's obligated to remain in Jagannath Puri on the request of Shachi Mata when they'd all gathered in Shantipur. Nityananda Prabhu, he arranged a doya Sagar, Avadut Goshai, Nityananda Prabhu. He couldn't accept. No, Vishamba, Navadip Chandra, he taking sannyas and going like that, and no, nothing, not possible. So he made a trick. He spoke to the cowherd boys. He said, that when the sannyasi, he's pramabhishto, he's overwhelmed with prema, love of God. When he comes wandering, he'll ask you, where is Vrindavan? You point him in the direction of he'll say, where is Jamuna? You point him in the direction of the Ganga. And Shachinandan is wandering, the cowherd boys said, where is Vrindavan? Where is Jamuna? Hey, Jamuna. Mahabharata was seeing, running. I find that very fascinating. From my perception, all the way, Gaur-Mandal Bhumi, from Panihati to Ramkeli, Mahaganga, she looks the same. You can recognize everywhere, Mahaganga, the same, banks, beautiful. But in these conditions, Mahaprabhu, he accepted the version of the cowherd boys. He thought it was the Jamuna. Even though every day he's bathing for hours and hours, still he's thinking it's the Jamuna. Bansha kalpataru shi gaura shandor, jana bira bansha punna kori nirantor. Jana bira bansha, the desires of Ma Ganga, punna, fulfilling them, nirantor. He's constantly fulfilling the desires of Ma Ganga. Bansha kalpataru shi gaura shandor. So again he ran and jumped in, floating down Ganga. And then he arrives at Advaita Thakur's Shantipur. Actually, he floated through Mayapur. Just imagine. He floated through Mayapur. No one noticed. He's in the Ganga. He's floating down there. He was in Katwa. That's north. He took sannyas. He's wandering around. He didn't come back through Mayapur. He jumped in the Ganga and he floated to Shantipur. That means he came through Mayapur again. And no one noticed. He's there. He's in the middle of the Ganga, floating down. But it happened. But that was it. That's sannyas. What he didn't, on the side of the bank, he left his shoulder bag with his room key, Aadhaar card. Nothing. Nothing. It's in the water. That's it. He's in the water. That's all he's got. His whole life. Nothing. He's floating with the danda. He had the danda at that time. And floating. And comes to Shantipur, Advaita Thakur on the banks. He probably may have just kept on floating if Advaita Thakur hadn't been on the banks to call him over. This is all described by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. What do you, come. Well, Thakur, you're in Vrindavan. Oh, wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. Oh, Nityananda is cheating me. No. It's Tribeni, Shanga. There's Jamuna, Saraswati, Ganga, all flowing there in the same place. No, he's not lying. This is also Jamuna. And then those kirtans, the devotees say, all the devotees from Navadip, they came. And not just Navadip, other places, Gaur-Mandal, Adi-Shaptagram, and Khanda, and Kulinagram. The news had spread that Shachinandan has taken sannyas, and he'll spend a few days in Shantipur at Advaita Thakur's house. All the devotees came, everybody, and all the devotees from Shantipur, everybody came, except one person. Vishnupriya. Shachimata was brought on a palanquin from Navadip. They carried Shachimata on palanquin. And then when she got down, and Gauranga, Shri Chaitanya Dev, he saw Shachimata, he fell down offering obeisances. She took him and embraced him. You can see a painting there. It's also, if you go to Ultadanga Road, Shri Thakur, Gaudiya Math, Ultadanga Road, you'll see the same painting there, Shachimata embracing Gausundor. Her whole dress is completely drenched with the tears which are pouring. The first thing she said, do not do like Vishwarup. You know Shachimata had eight children before Vishwarup, and they all died. They all died. Shachimata had 8 children before Vishwarup, and they all died. And then Vishwarup, and he lived. And then he took sannyas. Vishwarup, he took sannyas. I was so devastated. And then Jagannath Mishra, he left the world. And then Shachinandan, Jai Shachinandan, because he's the dear of Shachimata. Who else she had? Jai Shachinandan. She said, do not do like Vishwarup, who never again gave us audience. And the devotees were discussing what to do. You want to go to Vrindavan? Mahaprabhu said, I've taken sannyas. Shanna-śatānana Shanna-śkoriya Nija janmasthane rohe kotumbalaya. It's not the duty of a sannyasi. Sannyas dharmanahe Shanna-śkoriya, having accepted sannyas. Nija janmasthane rohe, to remain in one's birthplace. Kutumbalaya, surrounded by family members. And Sachimata was saying, yes, it's so painful that you have taken sannyas, but if you stay and we hear some vindication, some critical talk, look, what sort of a sannyasi is this? Staying at home, attached to his mother, attached to his home, attached to his relatives. If I were to hear such words, that would be more painful than the pain I'm experiencing in your separation. And then she said, Puri and Oriya Goria. 2 rooms in the one house. Oriya Goria. Orisha and Bengal, 2 rooms in the one house. Tamrisha Paro Gamon Agamon. You all can go and come from Jagannath Puri, and that way I will get news. Ganga Snana O Haveta Ragamon, and he will also may come to bathe in my Ganga. And he does, he comes again. And attempt to go to Vrindavan. Sri Chaitanya Charita Madhya-lila, chapter 7, attempt to go to Vrindavan. Goshundo, he again comes to Vangal Bhumi, again, upon requesting permission from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya or Ramananda Roy. Gauda Deshe Mor Dui Shamasrai. In Gauda Desh I have 2 shelters. Janani Janovi, Ma Ganga and Sachimata. Ei Dui Doyamoy. These are full of mercy. So Mahaprabhu, he journeyed again. In an attempt to go to Vrindavan, he journeyed again through Bengal in order to associate with the Gauda Bhaktagon, Sachimata, Ma Ganga. So he did come back to Bengal. So for this reason, he kept in Jagannath Puri. Because the devotees from Bengal, every year they went. Every year. Such a description is there by Kaviraj Goswami of the devotees from Bengal arriving in Jagannath Puri. Even the lips, we hear from the lips of the king of Puri. Ache Nitto, Ache Prem, Ache Hari Dhani, Kahana Nahi Deke, Ache Kahana Shuni. I've never heard such kirtan. As they were arriving on the grand road, the king of Puri, he's looking. Ache Prem, Ache Nitto, Ache Hari Dhani, Ache, such dancing, such love of God, such Hari Dhani, such chanting of the holy name. Kaha Nahi Shuni, Ache Kaha Nahi Deki, Ache Kaha Nahi Shuni. I've never seen, I've never heard such kirtan. As the devotees' first time arriving from Bengal in Jagannath Puri for associating with Sachinandan for Ratha Jatra Mahamahotsava. Just at this time they arrived. Just at this time, just after Snan Jatra, just a few days before Ratha Yatra. And then they arranged Gundicha Marjana, Madhya Lila, chapter 12. You can listen over the next few days. Ratha Jatra Anushthan. Actually, the Jagannath, the South Indian tour is 2 years. It's described in 1 chapter. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 8. The Lord tours the holy places. 1 chapter. There's 2-year period. These devotees from Bengal arrived in Puri around Snan Yatra time, and then Gundicha Marjana, and then Ratha Yatra. That's a 20-day period. It's described in 5 chapters. Just see the detail of Kaviraj Goswami's description of Ratha Yatra Mahamahotsava, of the Mahaprabhus associating, Gauda Bhaktagon associating with the Navadip Bhaktagon in Puri, dancing, chanting, taking Jagannath Prasadam. Anandamoy Kirtan. So Mahaprabhu, he's kept in Jagannath Puri. And therefore his mission in Vrindavan, he cannot fulfill. Echai Gosha Jabe Braja Koilabash, Radha Krishna Nitya Lila, Korila Prakash, Echai Gosha Jabe Braja Koilabash. The 6 Goswamis, Vrindavan. The Vrindavan is the Goswamis, as Prabhupada comments. It's the Goswamis that re-established Vrindavan. Even Radha Kund could not be recognized. The Goswamis re-established. And subsequently Prabhupada said other Vaishnavas, other transcendentalists were attracted to Vrindavan. Now it's so many organizations, sampradayas, but originally Goswamis revived in the main temples of Vrindavan. Khabe bhakti ras shastra karya likhan chaitanya kota shune chaitanya chintan. And the Goswamis in Vrindavan, Khabe bhakti ras shastra karya likhan, they're writing the ideology of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Goswamis are writing in Vrindavan. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujjala Nilomani, Upadeshamrita, Sat Darshan Deepika. They're writing. Khabe Bhakti Rasashtra Koraya Likhan. They're writing in Vrindavan. Chaitanya Kota Shune, Chaitanya Chintan, and discussing about Lord Chaitanya and thinking about Lord Chaitanya in Vrindavan, the Goswamis. And in this way, why the Goswamis are there? Because Mahaprabhu is kept in Puri upon the request of Sachimata. Sachinandan is. So these Goswamis, Sanatana Goswami, he came for fulfilling the purpose of writing the ideology and the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the literary form. Nana Shashta Bicharanaiko Nipono Satdharma Shangstapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manno Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Guna Smriter Madhuri Anandena Shamohito Bandarupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shijiva Gopalako. It's not ordinary beings. However, in order to instruct us, he's asking, Kayami, who am I? Why I'm suffering these threefold miseries? If you do not know this, what's the use of anything, any education? And then Mahaprabhu, he answers, why, these three energies, why it's important to know. If you know this, all your problems are solved. If you know the cause of your suffering, why am I suffering? We're busy, the materialistic approach is trying to solve the problems one after another, but they do not know what is the cause of problems. What is the cause of problem? Bhoga shakta praya, shangspashaja bhoga dukha yomuna, dukha yoni, shangspashaja bhoga, dukha yoni. Where the misery is the source of generation of the miseries. Shangspashaja bhoga, the enjoyment of the senses. The enjoyment of the senses. Sangspashaja bhoga, the pleasure which comes when the senses come in contact with the objects. Touching, sparsha, touching. Shangspashaja bhoga, that happiness. Dukkha yonai, that's the source of misery. Dukkha yonai evate. It's Krishna, certainly the source of misery is the enjoyment of the senses. What a predicament. The only thing that's interesting, the only thing we're interested in is the thing that's causing all the problem. That's Bodha Jeev. That's Bodha Jeev. The only thing that's of any interest to us is the thing that's causing our perpetual suffering. That's punished, that's Bodha Jeev, bound up. Maya jale bodha hoye. Maya jale, the net, it's entangling. Maya jale bodha, and you're tied up. In English, there's the word bondage. Bondage. It's a whole genre. It's a whole genre. Bondage. In Bengali, badha, bound up, bondage. Bound up, bondage. So Sanatana Goswami, he's not a conditioned soul, but he's asking for our benefit. And Mahaprabhu is answering that. Krishna Bully. We've forgotten who we are. Mama Eba Angsha. We're part of Krishna. We are the same quality. Nitto Krishna Bully. But we've forgotten our relationship. Krishna Bully Shei Jiva. Krishna Bully. We've forgotten the relationship with Krishna. In fact, some materialists, there's no spiritual, nothing beyond the material energy. I'm spirit. No. They're forgotten. Doesn't exist. Forgotten our relationship with Krishna. That's the cause of our suffering. And therefore, Krishna Bully Shei Anadi-devaḥ, therefore we become attracted. Therefore we become attracted to the external energy because we've forgotten the Nitai pada kamalasrai. The cooling, nitai pada kamala, koti chandra shushital. Shushital, shital is cooling. Shital, shitkal, it's cooling. Shushital means very cooling. Nitai pada kamala, koti chandra shushitala. Koti chandra, like 10 million moons. Koti chandra shushitala. Chechaya jagata jura. It can give shelter to the entire universe. We've forgotten. Hano nitai bine bai, Radha Krishna bai tenai. Hano bina nitai bine bai, without Nityananda. Radha Krishna bai tenai. Drida kori dhoro nitai bai. With drida kori dhoro nitai bai. Hold on to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. It's Krishna Buli. Anadir-bahirmukha, we become attracted to that external energy. Become attracted. Āta-eb māyā-ādi-devaḥ shaṅsha dukha. Therefore, because of forgetting Krishna, āta-eb, therefore, māyā-ādi-devaḥ shaṅsha dukha is giving us so much trouble. The potential expansions can never be calculated by anyone, because even the Personality of Godhead himself as an incarnation of śeṣo cannot estimate the potencies, although he's been describing them continuously with his 1,000 faces. Any questions or questions today? Janmashtami Prabhu.
In Harinam Chintamani, the point's made that the primary responsibility of the guru is to provide sambandha gyan to the disciple. Of course, this is all about improving japa. So I'm wondering if you could share your realizations of how sambandha gyan, if it's properly provided, how that increases our capacity to chant good rounds.
There was a YouTube, actually it was an event here, I forget what it was. It was something 50 years of Bhajan Kutir or 51 years or something. It was an event. Achyutananda Swami was speaking. He was speaking. It was video recorded. He was an early preacher in Mayapur, Navadip, Mayapur, Achyutananda Swami, Jayapataka Swami. They were living in Gaudiya Math, beginning preaching in Mayapur. And he was sharing a little bit of his experience. He was saying that, you know, he was 60s, I think New York. He said he was many books on yoga. His father was into yoga and Buddhism, and then the family were into the occult. He was practicing yoga, yogasan. He said he was pretty good at it too. And reading books, you know, this one Tibetan Book of the Dead, autobiography of a yogi, the usual library of aspirant spiritual seekers. And he said that then they got the Bhagavatam. That was just the first canto of the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada's books. He said it was like it was like a tsunami. It was like an ocean, like a downpour of knowledge. In Prabhupada's books, they're just like such a downpour of knowledge. Just by reading Prabhupada's books, a person can become vidāmy. Vidāmy, become a learned scholar of the Ved Shastra, just by reading Prabhupada's books. And if you want to even boil it down, just by reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, you're a learned scholar of all the Shastras. Everything is there, Gita, Bhagavat, Upanishads, Acharya, Pratana, Nāntaṁ Pratana, just Prabhupada's, just the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The discussions, the Bhagavatam verses that are quoted in the discussions. Sanatana Anupam and Rupa Goswami, they go, after meeting Mahaprabhu and Ram Kelly, they go to Prayagraj. They're going to Vrindavan. They're thinking we'll all be together with Shamsundar, with Goshundar in Vrindavan. They're thinking he'll go and stay. Rupa and Anupam, they went to Prayag, and Mahaprabhu left Vrindavan. He couldn't stay. Only 10 days. Balabhadra Bhattacharya brought him out. And then they met in Prayag. And they're there, one great Acharya, Balabhacharya, Brahman, traditional family. He became the Acharya of Sampradaya, Pushti Marg. Balabhacharya, what an aristocratic Brahmin. And they're discussing. Mahaprabhu, they see Rupa and Anupam. Mahaprabhu says, don't go near these men. They're rejects from Brahminical society. They're rejects from Brahminical society. They had a job. They took a job. The rejects. And Rupa and Anupam, they're on the ground. They're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Don't come near us. Don't touch us. We're rejects. And then the discussion that goes on between those great personalities, the Shastra which is quoted. Balabhacharya, he quotes Bhagavatam, Aho bata swapacho to gari yangya jiva gari varchate namutubhyam tepos tapaste juhuvu shashnoaya brahmanachu namagrinanti yeta. Namagrinanti, they've taken your name. Tepos tapaste juhuvu shashnoaya. They've traveled to all the holy places. They've performed all the austerities. They've studied all the Vedas. They've performed all the sacrifices. Jivagre namatubhyam, just by your name just touching their lips, touching their tongue. And quoting Bhagavatam, Mahaprabhu becoming enlivened, yes. Mahaprabhu is quoting from the Hari Bhakti Shuddhodaya, Name Bhakta Chaturvedi, Mad Bhakta Swapachapriyaha. Even the dog eater who's become my devotee, he's more dear to me than the Chaturvedi who's not my devotee. And the quotes, the discussions of Shastra. Mahaprabhu is quoting verses, Balabhacharya is quoting verses, Rupa and they're quoting verses. They're discussing. This is how learned Vaishnavas associate with each other. They discuss Shastra. Katayantas chamam nitam. Katayantas chamam. Katayantas cha. My discussions, which you get in the Prabhupada's books. This is full of it, from page after page. Absorb your mind. Manmana, think of me, absorb your mind. Māyā-shaktamana, attach your mind to me, absorb your mind in the Shastra. Read Prabhupada's books, that Dibogyan. Dibogyan ride prakashito. Dibogyan ride prakashito. This knowledge revealed in the heart, we sing it every day. It's in the books. The books. They open your eyes, the books, the gyan.
With that knowledge, then we understand we're not our body, and we'll, with full strength and faith, chant the holy name, knowing that that's the ultimate activity, the most important activity in our lives.
Yeah.
I have one more question. Can I ask anybody else? From an Ayurvedic standpoint, one shouldn't eat anything after 3 hours after it's been cooked. And I think it's mentioned in the purport to 617, Bhagavad Gita, yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasa karmasu. But then Prabhupada says, but with prasadam it's different. You can take it later. Any thoughts on that?
Na desha nimastata na kala. Niyamastata. It's quoted by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. In the morning when Goshunda, he comes running after the Mangalati, he comes running with the garlands and the Mahaprasad. We traced out that route recently from the Jagannath temple. There's you go the singer next to the horse. You exit there, you just go through Sweta Ganga, boom, you're in Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. Just 2-3 minutes. The horse exit to Sweta Ganga, boom. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya house. So after Mangalati, he went quickly. Kaviraj Goswami said he went quickly after Mangalati with the prasadam. and offered to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who just like unbelievably, he hadn't taken bath, no Gayatri, mantra, tantra, nothing. He said, I hadn't even cleaned my mouth, and I honored that prasadam extraordinarily. And he quotes, Na desha niyamastatra, na kala niyamastata. Praptam anum tritam shishtai bhoktavyam harir abravit. The order of Lord Hari is that praptam anum, when you receive the Mahaprasad, particularly the Jagannath Mahaprasadam, Jagannath Puri Mahaprasadam, praptam anum, na desha niyamastat, there's no consideration of the place. In other words, wherever you receive that. Na desha niyamastatra, na kala, no consideration of time. So wherever you receive it, at whatever time, let immediately be often. And it says in a translation, no matter if it's old, putrid, dried up and stale. Thank you. Contraj. This question? Question?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I have one question, and one of my friend asked me this question last night, and he told me that after crossing 8.4 million species, we got this human body. And as we know that soul transform from one body to another body, and we have got only one human body, so we must do every enjoyment in this body, every kind of enjoyment in this body. When we get another life, according to our activities, then soul transfer in another body, and another body will get punishment, not my human body. So what's your suggestion in this statement?
Kamarupena kunte dushparen analena cha. The problem with trying to enjoy everything and thinking that that's it, we'll have done it, we'll be happy, that it doesn't work like that. Dushpurena, it's never fulfilled. Desires are never fulfilled. So you can never fulfill your desires. So then have to accept that and chant Hare Krishna. Never fulfill the desire. There never will be. And if we can, the more we desire, the more like increased like fire, so you'll take birth again. Unfulfilled desires. So my thoughts on that. The question was my thoughts on it. Chant Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. And purify the heart in this life. Come so close. Already we come so close to just chant Hare Krishna, to awaken prema, love of Krishna, love of God. Awaken that possible in this life by Nam Bhajan, Vaishnav Sheva, Bhakata Sheva, Paramashidi, Prema Lotika Amul. Prem Lotika Amul, the root of love, is service to Vaishnavas. So take advantage of this life, serve Vaishnavas, chant the holy name. Granthad Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanandi.